Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick here on Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Christin, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very excited today because, a lot of times I have a lot of men on my show, and I don't always get to get the top echelon, the high-value women here in these H-Town streets. But today I get to sit with Miss Princella, the Queen Maker. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Now, y'all know I'm a girl's girl, and I'm all about women empowerment, confidence, about going up into the 5D and manifesting all the things that you want in this reality. So there's no one better to have come on here besides Princella, the Queen Maker. I don't know anybody else who can give us the game as strongly as you can, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ready to jump it off?
Yes. I want to ask you, first of all, how did we come up with Princella, the Queen Maker? Because I think that's an amazing name. It is so fitting for you because I am sitting in the presence of royalty.
Thank you. Well, first of all, my Princella is my birth name.
Oh.
So the Queen Maker actually came from someone who watches my content. They left a comment in the comment section and they said, you're not just a queen, you're a queen maker. And so I let somebody know that somebody said that, and he was like, that's your brand. That's what you need. That's you.
Yes, absolutely. And that's an amazing thing because so many times, so many women can be in a little peasant energy, and we don't know about it. So we need people like the Queen Maker to help us to come in and be able to tap into that queen energy, right? So that's an amazing thing that you're doing to help and uplift women. At the end of the day, women empowerment, women being there for women is a beautiful thing. And we don't always have that. So for you to be so brave and so strong and to dedicate your life to pouring into others, I just want to be the first to say, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So I know that you have so many things going on. I know that she is booked and busy, right? So there's so many things that we can talk about. But the first thing that I want to ask you is, what events do you have coming up where the people can see you?
Well, I have an event coming up right here in Houston on Valentine's Day.
Ooh, for the lovers.
And it is specifically for the queens. It's called On Your Throne. And I wanted to do something special for women who had been following my teachings, who have been wanting to see me do something live, because a lot of women have decided to level up and center themselves. So they're not looking to get candy or attention from a man. They're looking to pour into themselves. And so there are a lot of people coming out to really just pour into themselves and learn about love, because what I've come to realize is that most people in the world don't understand love at all. They don't know it, which is the reason why so many people are seeking it and never finding it, because they don't even know what it looks like, even when it's in their face. And what they don't realize is that the greatest love will always come from self. Nobody else can love you. So the event that I have is going to be a full day event, but it's going to be split up into two parts. So just in case people aren't able to make it in the early part of the day, we have an event ball at the end of the day. So we're going to have live entertainment. We're going to have some of the top poets out here in Houston, Texas.
Great entertainment.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we're not having a party. We're having a ball, because queens go to balls.
Absolutely.
Texans go to parties, queens go to balls.
Oh, yes. And we'll have a royal photo shoot. So I'm going to have women able to take pictures in crowns and the whole 9 yards. We're going to have catered cuisine, everything that you can think of.
It's going to be top notch.
Yes.
When she said royal photo shoot, that means I'm going to be there too.
Yes.
Because I need to get, my image in my queen state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's the latter part of the evening. So that'll be from 8 to 11. And earlier in the day, from 9 to 3, I have my famous workshop called Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded. So what I've done here...
That's a very powerful name.
Yes. So what I've done here is I came up with a concept called the 5 components of love. I've discovered that love actually has a structure to it. So I explain this concept and I kind of tear down people's preconceived beliefs of what love is. And I let them do it themselves. Through using logic and letting them direct their own thought process. And after a while, they deconstruct what they thought love was. And then I rebuild them back up with the structure of what love truly is. And then I connect that to the neurological and biological nature of a man to show them that what you're looking for in men, you will never find. You can only find this in yourself.
Within self.
Yes.
So basically what you're telling me is that you're low-key a scientist.
Yes.
Because you have literally created a science to this,
Yes.
you know? And one thing that, I'm not, I really do want to get more into like loving myself and uplifting myself, but I'm not as in depth as you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things that even in this short time that we've been speaking that, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's so right, but it's so true when you say that self-love is the best love.
Yes.
And it's so cliche to say, how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself? But it's so true.
But it's true, but they don't. And that's the thing. That love word has never been defined. And people say these things without understanding, because these axioms and maxims, they have stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
However, they have been simplified from the highest level of thinkers to the point that people on the bottom can't comprehend the simplicity because they have not understood the complexities. See, people who are professionals and masters in their craft, they make things look easy. But before they make it look easy, there's a depth of complexities they go through to master before it's so easy. So when you hear things like, you can't love anyone unless you love yourself, these are from people who have mastered the complexities of love to be able to say something simplistic like that. Mm-hmm. But people who don't understand these things will always be lost in the simplicity. So what I've done is created a framework that can give people a visual roadmap to see how clearly this concept is correct, right? Yeah. So nobody knows where to start to even love themselves, to love somebody else. Exactly. They don't know. And so I give them the starting point, guide them to the finishing point so that they can be on the other side to see how beautiful and blissful life can be when you truly understand this concept. So one of the things that I say is this. How old are you?
I'm 38.
You're 38. Okay, I'm 39. And how many days are in a year?
365.
How many weeks in a year?
52.
Okay, how many days a week?
7.
And how many hours a day?
24.
Okay. You've been here for 38 years. How many years, how many hours, how many days has anybody been with you out of all of that time?
With the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody but me.
Correct. Only you.
Yeah.
You've been with you.
Only me.
The entire time. Nobody else. There is nobody in the world that can know you more than you know yourself. And so with the 5 components of love, the first component is to seek first understanding, and then ye be understood. Nobody in the world could understand you the way that you do. Because the days that you were crying in your car or in the shower, who was there with you?
Just me.
You. Mm-hmm. And when you came out of that, through the strength of your own will, who was there to watch you conquer and win? You.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to ask somebody else to love you and understand you,
when you don't love and understand yourself,
to the depths that you could, is asking everybody for too much.
Too much.
So if you don't care enough about examining your entire life and finding things to appreciate about yourself, how could you ask somebody else to do it when they haven't done it for themselves either?
And that is so true. It's like, but you know what it does? You know what the problem is that number one, people don't know where to start. So thankfully we have you, because that's not a problem anymore. If you want to know to start, the queen maker can make you a queen, but you have to overcome that spirit of fear.
Correct.
And say, you know what? I want to do something different.
Yes.
I want to look into it differently, into myself, because I'm not being successful. But so many people can't have that Michael Jackson man in the moment, like man in the mirror moment, where it's like, you know what? What do I need to change?
You know
what do I need to understand about myself?
You know why? Because ultimately people hate themselves. They hate what they see in the mirror because
girl, you preaching.
There's so much darkness. Because society is set up to tell you all of the things that you should be and all the things you should not do. Right? And it doesn't allow for you to actually deal with the things to truly become all of these virtues. So people have to pretend to be the good person instead of actually becoming the good person by bringing out all of the darkness into the light. Instead, they're suppressing these aspects of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when light is brought to it, it rattles people. There are people who cannot go to sleep without the radio or the TV playing.
Mm-hmm.
That is because they have skeletons in the closet and they cannot face themselves. So as long as a person can never face themselves, they can never accept themselves. They will continue to have to put on a mask to try to pretend to be something in order to be accepted by others. Everybody is doing this. The majority of people are doing this. The majority of people have not reached a place of authenticity. But then when you live like that, you're a slave.
Oh, absolutely. And so many people are in that situation. Even within myself, I can sit there and say I had such a hard time just accepting the person that I was. I wanted to be somebody else.
Yes.
You know, I was trying to be different people. You know, me coming like from South Louisiana, where I'm from, even with like most of the people, my mother and my family being passé blanc, you know, I'm a brown girl. I can't pass for anything but a Negro.
Right.
So it's like there's so many things that we battle in life and we all deal with it, but it's about being strong enough to make that change.
Correct.
So if someone right now is sitting here thinking, you know what, I know that I don't like myself. I know that I need to make some changes. What would be your first piece of advice to that person that wants to start this self-healing and self-love journey?
Oh, that's great, because the first step they already did, which is acknowledging that reality. So now you just need to move in a direction, because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Hallelujah.
So now that you understand that, the Creator is always going to place the right people, the right information in your way. And so a lot of people have come to me and let me know that they prayed for a change and they asked God for something, for clarity. And the next day or the next hour, my videos pop up. I have a lot of supporters like that.
That is called divine intervention.
Yes. So what I would tell people to do who are listening to me, who can hear my voice right now, I have the framework and I have all of the information that you need to really evolve yourself. So I have coaching programs, I have books, workbooks, everything that I've created for you to really come into yourself and free yourself from the suffering, because as long as you're not the true version of who you were truly meant to be, and you are riddled with fear, addiction, and codependency, you will be suffering. You will live in misery. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to live in misery. Misery is a choice. The thing that will save you from this is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I have all of the knowledge here.
And all the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding, you know. And you talked about earlier things being very simple and us complicating them. But all these ideas are very simple when you go back down to the basics of them, to be able to say, you know, like, what is I need to change? Like, what are the problems? Like the same thing, like loving yourself first, you know, admitting your fears, you know, those type of things. So it's completely, it just boggles my mind sometimes when I think about, even in my own journey, how I overcomplicated things. And then when I was just a little bit still, you know, started looking at myself, the very, very first thing I was like, you know what, this person's making me mad because of this. And I didn't do that one day. And I said, you know what in me needs to change? So I stopped attracting these type of, you know, situations in life, right? And it all came, even with me years ago, looking at some information, finding something on the internet, you know, a book, a podcast, and what have you, right? And as you mentioned earlier, you have got layers to the things that you offer. You're doing it, you know, in the books, you're doing it on TV, you're doing it out in the streets, you know, you're doing different events and everything. And I want to dive into very specifically all the different things that you're doing and talk more about your techniques and everything. We're going to take a quick break so that we can go and talk with our sponsors, and then we'll be right back to Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick here on Afrovibes TV with Princella, the Queen Maker.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick here on Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Christin, and I'm still here with the multi-talented Princella, the Queen Maker. Before we went on break, we were talking about so many wonderful topics. And before we get back into a little bit more conversation, I first want to state that she did talk about her event. And here's a little flyer. I mean, if you've been on the internet, you've probably seen it because it's at a big event. Like if you don't know about it, then you're not in the in crowd. So on February 14th, we're going to have the book signing. We're going to have the ball, all the who's who's. Everyone's coming with their lace fronts tight. They're coming with their attitudes being positive, and they're coming ready to soak up some knowledge and to change their understanding understanding, because you're going to get the time and the energy of Miss Princella, which is something that we cannot duplicate and is highly sought after. Okay. So I'm going to be there too. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have got to come in, right? So we were talking about all your different things, and you're giving us some really good nuggets, and that's great and everything. But if you really want to get down to it, what you're going to have to do, buy the book.
Absolutely.
Buy the book. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is the type of knowledge that if you're lucky enough, to be able to have opportunities to gain it here and there, that's a great thing. But all of the detailed information is going to be in here. And as we stated before, she's very educated. This isn't something she woke up yesterday and just started doing. She's put time, effort, and education into this to be able to give this information, because she's giving it to humanity. She is literally came here from heaven. She was like, oh my God, Earth is ghetto. I'm going to come down here and make humanity better. So you're welcome. Okay. But Miss Princella, can you please tell me about this wonderful book?
All right. So this book is called 41 Shades of Men.
Love it.
The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You. And I truly believe that women are divine, or should be divine. But the thing that's keeping them away from their divinity and their ability to help the planet and achieve their higher self is their confusion about their relationships with men. Too many women are lost and do not understand men. And I've spent a lot of time around men. I've spent a lot of time studying men. I've dated men. I've worked with men. I've studied them neurologically and biologically. I've had mentors that were men. I've been in the military, car sales, just totally male-dominated industry. And one day, everything clicked, because I was confused about why males acted the way they acted, especially
we're
in relation.
Yes,
in relation to me, because I'm a very good person,
nurturing, loving person.
I am a very good person, and the relationships did not work. And so after every breakup, I went and I worked on myself for an extended period of time. I never jumped from relationship to relationship.
Very smart.
I would spend about 3 years between dating somebody else, just working on myself and focusing on myself. And so once I felt like I got to a good position, I tried it again. Went south. And I'm doing everything that society says do, and I'm being the best person. I'm getting taken advantage of. People are lying to me, stealing from me, everything. And I'm not dating the typical thugs.
None of these low vibration.
None of these guys. It's all of these different guys that they say are supposed to be high quality. And so when that finally ended, it was like everything clicked. For me, it takes time for me to go over information over and over and over again. So I meditate on things a lot. And then all of the information just clicked one day, and I said it. I said, men are incapable of love. And how did I come to the idea, the conclusion that men were incapable of love? Remember, I told you I wrote a book called The 5 Components of Love. Now, God gave me this concept back in 2016. It just fell out of the sky. And I wrote the book in 2018 while I was pregnant, and I self-published it in 2019. That book specifically only spoke about the structure of love. It had absolutely nothing to do with men or relationships. It was just specifically the concept of love. 2 years after that, I came to the conclusion that men were incapable of the concepts in the book, because I am convinced and sold on the fact that the 5 components of love is the structure of love. That is absolutely love. And I came to the conclusion that men were incapable of these concepts. So I was on TikTok, and I was trying to sell that book. This book hadn't even been thought of. I was trying to sell that book. And in order for me to sell that book, I was explaining the concepts of that book through visual, artistic methods. And I sold so many books from that visual. And that visual that I was doing is the love, men, and manipulation. It transformed into love, men, and manipulation.
And at the time, you didn't even know that you were developing this whole.
It just flowed. It was like I was in a state of flow from the Creator. The Creator was pouring through me to do this. So that's how that was created. So I would get off of work every day at 8 something, and then I would do this every night at 9 o'clock for 4 hours, and people would stay in there the entire time. So one day I was doing that, and I started to explain the different types of men. It was just coming. And I said, you know what? Let me take out a piece of paper. And with 500 people watching me live, I said, you know what? Let us write down how many different types of men. And we just were sitting there. And I came up with 41. And I told them, I said, you all wait. I'm going to write this book for you. Wow. Yes. And then I wrote the book, and that's
from your lips to God's ears.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. 41 different type of these dudes out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm an avid reader, and like I'm so excited to like get this book and read it, and then start telling you niggas about yourself, to be honest with you. But you know what you said earlier? I literally had a conversation with a man earlier today that was asking me to go out and all this, baby, all this stuff, you know. And I was like, you know what, sir? I don't know if I want to go out with you, because honestly, my life is good. I got money, I got edges, I got fun. My mama, she said she may get a gumbo tomorrow, my baby. Yeah. Everything in my life is good. The only time things disrupt my peace is dealing with you men. And that's the only thing that's ever wrong in my life.
That's the only thing that has ever been wrong in my life.
I've never been broke. I've never been ugly. I've never been, you know, I have stamps in my passport. I know who my daddy is. His name is Craig. But you men don't understand.
Listen, in my life.
Y'all are doing us like this. You see these? Our face card has never declined, and we went to school. And why?
You like, women have to take inventory of their life seriously, because that's the same thing. I noticed a pattern. When I was single, my life would go. Every time I got what they got, from the 2 steps I took forward, I took 5 steps backward.
Everything else in life.
When I came to the conclusion that I was completely done with men, totally, that I would never date them ever again, I made more money than I had ever made in my life. I transcended and moved forward in a way that I never moved forward.
These men are messing up the bank accounts, what I'm saying. It's all out there. You say you got rich. You left them alone and we got rich. You know?
Yeah, I believe it. I stopped pouring into their vision, stopped pouring into them and letting them destroy me, giving me problems and things like that. When I let them go and I said, you know what, I can do this on my own. I don't, because I'm the one doing everything anyway.
Exactly.
I don't need them to be there. I'm telling you, I was the top salesman in the car industry. When I had never sold cars before. When I first started selling the cars, I had 10 days left in the month. I was a brand new salesman. I sold 9 cars in those 10 days. And my first full month, I was salesman of the month. Right. I ex-military, got commissioned as an officer. I got certified as a project manager, so I have my PMP. I went to school for cell and molecular biology. I play the piano. There's nothing in this world that I cannot do.
You can do everything. She's like Superwoman.
I can do. And so it's like, why am I allowing a man or society to tell me that I'm only worthy if I have a man? And that my job is to support a man. And my job is to allow him to suck on my energy to better himself. He needs me. I don't really need him.
Exactly. And you know what the reason why you're so dangerous, so powerful is because you're changing the status quo.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing. First of all, these men, she got in our mindset and she gonna tell them, we have the information, you can't manipulate us anymore, okay? And also to society, and also even in Black culture. I had a conversation, sorry daddy, I'm gonna talk about it. A couple of weeks ago, my dad, he literally told me, I'd be prouder of you if you were a stay-at-home mom raising your kids like your sister. I know that you run $1 million business. I know that you have all your endeavors, but I raised you to be a wife and a mother, and I'm happy, but like, I wish you had a husband. And I'm like, Daddy, ain't no man paying my bills, so what you want me to do?
In other words, he raised you to sell you to another man.
Basically.
Men respect other men. They see women as commodities to trade. They see women as slaves, barefoot and pregnant, and they see these things that we do as the territory of a man. So when a woman is doing it, they feel threatened because they believe that this is their right. Your job is to let them use your energy to better themselves. And then as they suck you dry to better themselves, because most men really need a woman to be anything, they don't want to give you nothing. They want to divorce you, not give you no alimony. They want to treat you like the scum of the earth. All of these things. And you don't have to play that role, because we all have God-given talents and skills that are meant to be used by us, so that way we can add value to society and the community, not to let a man use us until there's nothing else left to use. What about the children? What about the earth? What about the planet? What about the community? The men don't even care about that. They want you to be for them, while everybody else suffers. And I don't believe it.
And it makes any sense. And I tell men all the time, I say, you can't tell me one man in this world who ever did anything worth a damn without a woman behind him.
Exactly.
Julius Caesar was running up to Africa and Egypt to get that Cleopatra black pussy. You got Hitler had Ava Braun. If you were good or you were evil. Ain't no man ever did nothing except for Jesus Christ without a woman behind him.
That's the reason. And even Jesus was led by the feminine, because what most people don't understand is that the all source, all of these concepts are feminine. Wisdom in the Bible is depicted as a woman. So wisdom is the ultimate level of achievement. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. These are all feminine concepts. If you look at the 4 virtues, temperance, and all of the 4 cardinal virtues, they are depicted as women. These principles are what lead men. So even Christ, the consciousness of Christ, was led by the divine feminine principles of temperance, of patience, of justice, all of these things, wisdom. These are all feminine attributes. You know what I mean? So what women have to understand is their power that lies outside of just their physical parts. Men, the carnal nature is drawn to the physicality, but the spirit and the soul is drawn to divine principle, and women have the ability to embody divine principle. Men don't want women to get to that level, because it requires a level of determination and fortitude, which is action, to be able to create the things that women create. When men don't want women creating anything, they want them barefoot and pregnant.
And that. But the thing about it is, that was then. This is not now. It's not 1950s anymore. We're in the age of information. We're in the age of growth. We're in the age of letting tradition is nothing but peer pressure from dead people. We ain't doing that shit anymore. We're elevating. We're going up. We're going higher. Okay. And I'm so happy that you can give this information. And I know that there's so much more that you can offer and give to society. Everyone has a very special gift the world needs to see. And thank you for being brave enough and strong enough to step out of what everyone else is doing and be like, we know what you are. We know the 41 versions of y'all. Okay. Where can they buy your book?
They can get that on Amazon and Audible. It's 5 stars on both platforms.
Both platforms. So you guys buy the book, read it, come to the book signing, and you're going to be able to go over there. You have enough time to buy the book. Amazon going to deliver to you in 2 days. Bring it. You can get an autograph. You can get a picture, and you can get some positive vibes. Okay. Definitely look her up. Follow her on Instagram. What's your IG?
My IG is the Queen Maker Official.
The Queen Maker Official. Follow her on IG. See what she has out there to offer. Elevate yourself. Today is a great day to invest into yourself. Let's drop the peasant behavior, because peasants are not allowed an audience with the queen. Okay. So if you want to come and sit, you can't sit with us, but if you want to sit with us, you can. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're looking forward to seeing you guys all on February 14th. Come out for all the events. Come out for the ball. Do not wear your sheen dress. Please put on a label and come meet us out there. Okay.
Absolutely. And if you want tickets to that, you can go to princellaclark.com and click events.
Princella.com. She has her own website.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is official, okay? You guys purchase tickets, and I'm so happy that I got to meet you. Thank you for your time, your love, your light, and your energy.
Yes.
You have been such an inspiration to me, and I know we're going to continue this relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Well, I'm happy that you guys all tuned in. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick with Christin, signing off.